So you just got done taking quiz over systems of equations. We are now going to do systems of inequalities. And so what I have here goes along with the notes sheet, and you can fill this in after the test. So inequalities, just like before with inequalities, we have to pay attention to the sign. So if it is a less than or a greater than, we're going to make a dotted line, just like we made open circles before. If it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we'll make a solid line. So this one over here would be dotted. Okay, so basically all you do is you decide is it dotted or solid, make sure it's solved for y so you can graph it, and you make your line. So I start at 1, I go up 2, to the right 3, and then I make a dotted line. That's the first part, it's dotted. If it is less than, then we are going to shade under the graph. And I always shade under making vertical lines or over making vertical lines. You'll see why later on. So that is the graph. So anything in here is a solution. Okay, second one here, it is not solved for y yet, so I'm going to solve for y just like I would with any other line. Add 5x, negative 2y less than or equal to 5x minus 8. I'm going to divide everything by negative 2. Now, just like with inequalities first semester, when you divide by a negative, the inequality sign switches. Double check your signs. I divided a negative by a negative is positive. Okay, so now a couple things to know. I have a solid line because there's an equal to sign, and I'm going to shade above when I'm done because it's greater than. You really need to know the names of those signs. So I make a point at 4. Slope is negative 5 halves. I can't go up, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right 2. So I have a negative slope. It's solid. A crooked line. And then since it's greater than, I'm going to start on my line and shade up from there with my vertical lines. That will just keep you from getting confused on up and down on something that's kind of steep. Okay, this one is sort of a special line. It's a line you have to memorize. It's a vertical line. X is greater than negative 2. So I'm looking at the sign, and it is dotted because it's not an equal to. And I am going to shade to the right because to the right is bigger than to the left, and this means greater than. Okay, it says you try. If you think you know what you're doing, pause and go. Otherwise, you're just going to write along with me here. So this one's already solved for y. Start at negative 4. And I'm going to go up 1 to the right 3. It is dotted or dashed. I always say dotted. And because we're not including it, and we are less than, so we are shading under the line. This one I need to solve for y. And this time I'm dividing by a positive 3. So I don't need to flip the inequality. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. I'll replace that. So I start at 4. Slope is negative 2/3 down 2 to the right 3. It is dashed. And it's greater than, so I'm shading above the line. Y is less than negative 2, horizontal line, dashed. Less than would be everything that is below the line, because that is smaller down there. So there are some special cases in here. Okay, we'll keep going. I'm going to try to get as many as I can here in my time limit. This one's not solved for y, but all I got to do is divide everything by negative 2. Dividing by a negative changes the inequality. And then negative 5 divided by negative 2 is positive 5 halves plus negative 3 or minus 3. Okay, it's dashed. And I'm going to go up 5, 1, 2, 3,